Welcome to Seeing Scarlet. It's Shelby here. It's Tyler, and we're here to recap soccer's first week of play. So excited. They're up to number 18 officially in both soccer polls. They started the week 2-0, outscoring opponents 8-1 with 5 different goal scorers and 8 different players recording an assist, at least one assist. Now they're back on the road to California for 2 more games, including one against Santa Clara, who is receiving votes. A homecoming game for Chloe Yapich, who is from the Bay Area. All the things are happening. Oh, and they got 4 class of 2027 recruits. We'll give you some notes on them at the end as well. So all soccer, that's the sport that's going on right now. Some others kicking off soon. But what were your takeaways from the first week of soccer?
I definitely think that this team is looking very, 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 very strong in the first opening minutes, and I definitely think that this is going to be a team where games possibly could be over within the first 20 minutes of it, which is
Okay.
just a very different team compared to years past. I just feel like our offensive power is looking very strong, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. We're able to create a lot of opportunities, and we're shooting a lot, like a lot.
A lot, historically a lot, actually. You say that they had 38 shots in Sunday's game against the Youngstown State Penguins from Ohio. Make it make sense. They had 38 shots. That's the most in a game that I could find as far as it goes back on the Texas Tech Soccer website to 2017. Never, I think they had 30 in a game last year. Had some others around that range. Never have taken more than 38 shots in a game going back to 2017, and they don't have that in the actual full record book, so I don't know past that. You'd have to ask them, dig it up. But that's a lot of shots in a game. They didn't take quite as many, but probably half of that in San Diego State, but San Diego State's a better team. We'll get into both those games. Both of them, though, you scored 4 goals, so you got it done. Yeah, it's hard to have too many like huge takeaways after 2 games. I try not
Right.
to lean too far either way. Just like last year, this time last year, they had lost to Penn State. And then murdered somebody at home, like CSUN or something. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to read too
Mhm.
much into either game. Kind of the same thing, but I do think the thing that's giving me some like good optimism is the way in which they're scoring. It's
Mm.
not just like someone taking people one on one or like balls over the top beaten. You're just way faster than these people or way more athletic than these people. It's combination play. Like that's stuff that in my mind should work against most teams because that's just good soccer. And so that's why when I listed off those assists, they have 8 goals and 12 assists in 2 games. Leads the Big 12 and both of those categories after 2 games. 10 different players have recorded a goal or an assist. Almost every single attacking player, me and Tyler were talking about that, has contributed a goal or an assist on this team so far. Because Callie Bart got in the action with the assist on Sunday. Macy obviously had 3 assists in the opening game. Those are your 2 outside backs. Defenders, but they're very involved in the attack. All of your forwards outside of Alana Harry, who kind of plays everywhere for this team, but she is listed as a forward, and midfielder have scored at this point, which I think is big. You had Taylor Strzeski has 3 goals now. Know the name. Peyton Parsons got on the board. On Sunday, she's a midfielder, but is midfielder and forward. Caitlin Giametta is injured right now. We don't know the status of that, but she has scored a goal and assisted in the San Diego State game. Sam Courtright, midfielder, she got on the board. Has 2 goals already. Like, just go look at the stats. Like, everybody's getting involved, which I think that's my biggest takeaway and biggest sign of like, hey, this could be a pretty fun offensive team, which we thought it would be. Like, we told y'all that in the preview 2 weeks ago. It was like our novice soccer take was, hey, on paper, this team is very versatile, has a lot of weapons on the offensive end, could be a lot of fun, could be very relentless, I think is the word that I used. 38 shots is pretty relentless. And that's what you've seen early in the year. And that there might be some question marks defensively. Honestly, defensively, they looked a little bit better than I didn't know what we were going to get, just with some holes and some new faces back there. But there has been some moments where, like, okay, they're going to have to clean it up, like the goal that they gave up against Youngstown. I don't know if we'll show that, but that was a little bit of caught in the in-between. Maybe the soggy field played a part of that, but overall, they've looked pretty solid, but they'll be tested on Thursday against a solid Santa Clara team for sure. So we'll learn more about them on that end when they actually get more chances because the ball's pretty much been in our possession, which has been the plan. They've talked a lot about that. Like, hey, you don't have to defend if you have the ball. And so that's kind of been their thing, which is a lovely strategy if you can make it work. and they've been doing that early. So yeah, it's hard to really know too much about the defensive end except they've done their job when called upon, and then offensively relentless, spread out. Everyone's getting in on the fun. Alana's going to score on Thursday and make that a clean sweep up there on the attacking end. And yeah, that's my overall takeaways. Let's get into the highlights, though. That's what people come here for. So San Diego State, there's no official highlight package, so we're just going to show you all 4 goals in order and go through those. They were all fun goals. Lots of sharing is caring going on with this team.
Diego State.
I mean, Macy Blackburn. People are going to be terrible. You cannot foul us at midfield. That is not. There's no take fouls against us. That is danger zone area because you let Macy Blackburn do this. And then watch this little flick from Z. Like, she makes that look so easy, but perfect placement in between 2 people from her little noggin down to Bug, who streaks between them and then calmly finishes it for the first goal of the season.
Macy Blackburn shoots a long one forward, controlled here in the box, rolled through and rolled in.
Look at
An
that.
early goal.
Beautiful. I'll let y'all watch it one more time before we go on to the next one. But Macy Blackburn had 3 assists in this game. You're going to see all of them, all 3 in different ways. Free kick right there, later a throw in, and then a classical corner service. But good stuff from Z and Bug on the end of that. Next up, I believe.
Recently named by top.
Now you have Macy throwing the ball in there. To start it, gets it to Bug, who beautiful little flick.
Overall. Shots on here. That one off the bar in it.
Mind you, 2.5 minutes later.
2.5 minutes later. Good point. They scored two goals in the first 7 minutes of the game. This team has been talking a lot about coming out and jumping on people quickly. They're listening to Tyler. That was Tyler's one wish in the preview episode. It was like, score often. And they're like, bet, Tyler, I got you. They've been doing that. They scored twice here early. Sam Courtwright, like, you just quite frankly cannot give an All-American that much space to work with. And she said, yeah, you're way too late getting over here. That's over. Off the bar. Their keeper was pretty athletic, and she tried, but that's not going to happen. That's not going to go well for you most times if you give her that much space. So good to see Sam get on the board early in the year after being off for a whole year. You don't want that to be in your head. Not that Menace would ever be someone that lets something like that get in her head, but on the board early for Sam Courtwright. And then it was time for Taylor Strzelecki to get her first goal of the year. And of course it comes off of a Macy corner because that's what those two do. Flying through the air. She had 3 people. Like, they knew who she was. Wow. They knew that was going to her. And she said, I can just jump higher than you, so bet. I don't know if they show a replay on this, but if not, we'll throw it back up there. But again, that was Macy's 3rd assist of the game. That is 2nd all-time, tying her own record for 2nd all-time with 3 assists in a game. That's just a beautiful ball. Like, that's really indefensible unless you just have someone as big as Z and that can jump as high as Z that can mark her. That's just, I mean, let's go. You're going to see that a lot this year. People are going to try to stop it. Good luck. And then the last goal, we put a little, what is it called? Instagram reel on this with Tom talking about it as well. But look at the freshman. First of all, some people under the radar. Great ball from Amelia Wood, who I think has been really good to start the year. Has had a lot of over-the-top passes like this. In this game and a couple on Sunday, they didn't lead to anything, but this one did. Right. And the freshman, Raleigh Greason.
Pitch now chipped over the top.
Man.
By Elwood. And a run
Weight
up that
room.
far side.
Just out-muscles this girl.
A bit of a bump and a spin for Greason. Back onto the right.
Wow.
And smashes it
wow.
home.
Show me the birth certificate. I don't believe this. Like, I'm not buying this 18-year-old mess. What are they feeding these kids, Tyler? What are they feeding them?
I don't know.
Because Emma Torres is not officially on the board, but we saw her shot from Denver was just as ridiculous as a freshman, and now Raleigh Greason got on the board here. I mean, the control, like, doesn't fall over.
So controlled. Look at that.
And I know our team wasn't doing it towards the other team because they're not like that. But can you imagine defending that girl, getting deked out multiple times, she just out-muscled, and then you hear the other team chanting, "She's a freshman." I mean, I think I would just walk off the field. I'd quit right there. I'd question my life.
Game over.
Be like, Coach, I'm done. I'm going to go sit down the rest of the night. So that was big stuff from the freshmen. Just overall, a really fun game. A great start to the year. I mean, even in our 2023 year, we went on the road to start the season, and then it was a 1-1 draw, kind of a game to New Mexico. Not this year. Went on the road to a solid San Diego State team and got it done. Like I said, 7 assists from 5 different players. Blackburn with 3, Caitlin Giametta with 1, Chloe Yopich with 1, and Millie Elwood with 1, and then Taylor Sherdesky with 1 as well. 21 players got into this game. 17 getting at least 20 minutes of play. Tom talked about the depth in this after the game. He said, yeah, that's what they're called, game changers, for a reason. If you don't change the game or maintain the level, then it's a problem. And I thought everybody that came into the game did that. Some gave us a new wrinkle, and I think as far as depth goes, that was a big weapon in this game today. When we went to the bench, our level didn't drop. In many cases, it actually went up. So we're thankful for that. He also talked about Riley Greason's goal. He said it's not just a rookie scoring her first goal in the game. It's scoring a worldie in her first game. I thought she was going to shoot it left-footed, got it over to her right foot, had a lot of options where to put it. And she said, you know what, I'll just send it upper far right corner. It was a wonderful moment, and our team went bonkers. So, yeah, you can go listen to full press conferences and stuff from the team. They put them out on YouTube usually, or Texas Tech TV. But he had some positive things to say after that game. Why wouldn't he? You could tell that, I mean, he's happy with what they're doing. You're going to score that early. Why would you not be happy with what they're doing? It's hard. I think he also talked about that, like getting out on the front foot. Because San Diego State, he said, is a pretty good team, but he basically said we scored so fast that you wouldn't even have known that they were a good team, and then they were playing to try to catch up the whole game. And, I mean, if you can do that, keep doing it. And they certainly do it in the next game. But any final thoughts on San Diego State before we move forward?
I definitely agree with Tom that the depth on this team is just insane. I mean, in San Diego State, looks like I think 21 players play in this game, and I mean, that's going to be very beneficial for us moving forward down the line to have all this depth. And then for these freshmen, as Faith said, this freshman class is just insanely good. And to see these freshmen already making like a bunch of big moves in the scrimmage, and then San Diego State first game of the year, I mean, if they're already doing that, just imagine how much they're going to grow into this team and get even better. So definitely, I'm super excited to see what this team's going to be able to do with that depth piece.
Yeah, and there's just like a lot of underrated players, and I think Molly Skierczynski, forever underrated, played all 90 minutes in that game. Chloe Yopich played next to her for the most part in center back, but Eleanor Hayes came in as well, and Tom kind of talked about how they just give you different things. Everybody played well. Like, there's just like no one. Kate Leibel, one of those players that we just don't ever talk about. She's just going out there and steady does her job out there every game. Everybody kind of came in and made a difference. Like, so far, again, competition's about to step up, but San Diego State's not a bad team at all, and we just looked good. Youngstown, as we moved in, I'll be frank, probably the worst team you're going to play this year, because you have a pretty solid non-con. I don't know that there's a team that's going to be worse than them that you play. Not the worst team by any means in NCAA, but down the list, and you did what you should against them. But most impressively is you won 4-1 in a game where I kind of thought showing up to the field that night that it might be a sloshy, like, just find a way to get one goal type of game, because it was going to be wet, it's going to be hard to pass, it's going to be hard to do what we do. I talked about how they've been so good at playing as a team and playing team soccer and passing it and all those things. That's hard to do when there's lakes on the field. Like, credit to the grounds crew. This is no shot at them. They did a miraculous job, because if you looked at the out of bounds area of the field where they squeegeed the water off, you could tell how much water was sitting on that field.
They were swimming.
Because the poor refs and the ball people, they were like, every time they take a step, they were like in like 5 inches of water. Like, it was a lake on the out of bounds area. But there was also like certain spots on the field where there was that too, and so it really limited what they could do, and they still scored 4 goals. Like, me and Tyler, we can tell you, I love Macy Blackburn. We were down on Texas Tech's goals they were shooting at in the second half, where Macy was coming down. I guess that would be the right side. And there was this one time she was running straight at us, like towards us, and she's about to do what she does and send a crossover, and she says out loud, she's like, nope, can't do that. Can't do that. I'm going to fall on my butt, because it was a big old lake. So, like, she was having to be really smart about doing what she does. And Tom even said that after the game. Like, I think I have his actual quote on on the pitch. He gave a lot of credit to the grounds crew because the majority of the field was great. Like, it was sloshy and wet, but there were parts like that. And he said, I think the last time we were at Oklahoma State, it was like that. The last time we were at West Virginia, it was like that. He said, so now we've already done this. We've slopped around a little bit and got the ball moving. He said just that far corner kind of gave us some troubles where Macy was trying to do business. But other than that, it was a really fun night. We saw it. That far corner was a lake. And so someone that had 3 assists in the first game, the all-time leader in assists on the team, didn't have a single assist on the night because she really couldn't do what she does because of just the field conditions. And they still scored 4 goals. Like, that's what was impressive to me. Not that we scored 4 goals against Youngstown. I think if you gave them a perfect pitch, we might have scored 7 or 8 goals. Like, genuinely. But some of these goals that they combine on, can't even tell that it's sopping wet until you look at the pictures and there's just water flying everywhere. So I think that was my biggest takeaway, was impressive that the conditions didn't affect them like they could have, and they didn't really allow them to.
Yeah, it definitely was just like you said, the conditions kind of limited us, but we were able to still take advantage of the situations just with all the power that we have. Yeah, I remember even watching, I think on the midfield, there were times where it was so wet that the ball would just like get stuck and they would have to like put their foot like almost like all the way underneath it and like had to transport it across. Yeah, like basically dig the ball out of the puddle. And they were still able to make things happen. So yeah, for sure, definitely happy that we were able to still get goals off of that. And then also, even though we let up that goal, just to have a response at the end of that to kind of end the night more on a, even happier note. I think that was really cool too.
Yeah, to see them respond, because Youngstown State does get a goal with about 20 minutes ago, and it was a little bit of a weird one. It just looked like, I think it was Macy Blackburn back there with Faith, and one thought one was going to come out and get it, and the other one thought the other one was going to come out and get it. And credit Youngstown State. I actually very much appreciated them. Like, they understood their role here.
They were fighting.
Yeah, like they understand that their job is not until conference. Like, they're playing all these big schools, and when conference play, that's when their season starts. And they were just like going, hardcore going. And they got a breakaway in this moment because we had an awesome, almost goal. I don't know if it's a rainbow flick when it's forward, but Sam does what Sam does, where she dug it out of that sloppy mess with her foot and looped it over a defender that was right in front of her. A little rainbow pass up to Z, who finished it, but they said Z was offsides. There was no complaint, so I assume she was. But while we were kind of like talking that over, Youngstown didn't waste time, and they took the ball and went up the field and scored in that transition phase. But yeah, so we were like, oh, damn, 3-1.
Yeah.
And then Z, like, right after that, stole the ball and scored. So, yeah, the response was good. First chance to respond after a goal this year was another good thing, for sure.
Yeah, we definitely look great.
Show you the highlights, for sure.
Go Red Raiders! The action.
Kind of hard to see because, they're like ants, but I think they show a replay. This is the first goal of the game. I believe it's Z to Peyton. Taylor Shadusky squeezes one through to Peyton Parsons, and Peyton Parsons gets on the board for her first goal of the year. And Macy Blackburn right away, like, who cares? Get back to work. I'm kidding. She was like, good job. But keep it on focused and back at it, and they definitely score right. Here we go. Look at this pass. It goes past like 4 people. And great control. Tom talked about that goal after the game, saying that they work on this exact scenario in practice every Tuesday. So today they worked on that for this week, about bending around the keeper in those moments where you're kind of 1v1, and that Peyton was very calm about that and bent it right around her. Not an easy thing to do, and she made it look easy off a beautiful pass. Taylor she's a great goal scorer, but I've said this since last year, like, her passing is so underrated. She can pass off of her head. She can pass with her feet. Like, she's a menace out there. And then those same two combine again. This time Peyton Parsons squeezes it through 2 defenders and finds Z. It'll show a closer up version of that. But literally, I posted a picture, I think it's on Red River Sports, where you can see the ball like going through 2 defenders. So like from Peyton to Z. And Z just makes an easy little cut around the defender. Look at this ball. 2 of them. Goodbye.
Wow.
And Z made that look a little easier than it was. At the end, Deacon around right. Yeah, get out of my way. Easy finish. Those 2, they didn't play a ton of minutes in this, to be honest, because I don't think they played in the second half together at all. Because he's still mix and matching. There's a lot of options. I might be making that up in my head. They might have played at some point out there together, but then they started the game together. I asked Coach Stone about that after the game, and he said, yeah, it was special, right? They were finding each other with no-look passes, finding each other with give and goes. That is textbook how you break down a pack defense, and both of those have high soccer IQ, but then you have to actually execute it. Your feet have to cooperate. So they saw it, they executed it, their feet were clean and tidy, and both finishes were awesome. And then he talks about Peyton bending that ball around the keeper that I already said. So they were a lot of fun to start this game, to get it going. And then another little duo came to play for the third goal of the game, with Kylie Barr getting it at the Sam Courtright, who gets her second goal of the game. She just zipped it off of like two defenders, deflected that into the goal. She got enough mustard on it, I guess, to get it in there. But really, it was a great ball over the top, which is not shown. Maybe it's shown on the replay. Let's see. But Molly Skrasinski really is the one that started this. She sends a ball all the way from midfield. They don't show it. But she sent a ball from midfield over the top to Kylie, who was running. And then Kylie's just super fast. We were standing on that side for the first half, and Kylie was just cooking penguins left and right. Like, she was like just playing with them. You would have never known it was wet out there. And she was probably at 70% speed because of that. And she was just playing with them. One time she like, I'm going this way, and she like sent the ball and like ran around the other way and still beat them. And the defender was like, where does she come from? Like, it was hilarious. And if the ground wasn't as soggy, she might have had a few more assists. But she sent the ball across a few times pretty dangerously, just playing with them down there. But this was a great pass to Sam. And Sam, why are they giving Sam Courtright this much space? I mean, please keep doing it, but my goodness. Do we not know who she is? 2 games in a row.
Crazy.
And then this dance was the moment of the night. You gotta watch it. Yeah, they didn't show up, but if you saw the quick one, they did a little dance. Go find the clips online. They were asked about that after the game, and Sam said, we actually came up with that in the locker room before the game, and we were manifesting that she was going to assist me, so it worked. I looked at her, and I'm like, we're doing it. And she's like, yep. And so they went and they did this crazy dance, and they jumped up and chest bumped each other. This team just has fun. I think that's a lot of their reasons for their success. I mean, they were just giddy in the postgame. Both of them just smiling, laughing the whole time, joking around. Like, I asked Taylor Strzeski about her partnership with Peyton right after that. And she's like, well, me and Peyton didn't coordinate a dance or anything, but giving Sam a little quip back at her. Like, they're just having a good time out there, and that you should watch. They're not back home for a bit, but that's why you should watch them, at least on TV. And then they capped it off, like Tyler said. They gave up a goal. That's not in the highlights, because that's not how Texas Tech highlights work. We don't see the bad stuff. But Youngstown scored, and then a few minutes later, Taylor stole kind of a lazy pass from the keeper here and handles business. She had a teammate there, but I think she was well offside, so she had to go one-on-one with the keeper there, and she got it done. See if they show a replay or not, because there's still quite a bit of time left in this highlight package. But that's the last goal. But yeah, so Taylor has 3 goals on the year now and 2 assists. Leads the team with 8 total points. Here's a replay of it. Just, excuse me, ma'am. Like, that was just
boom.
Futile attempt to do anything there, but what are you going to do? Whoop. She's like, someone as tall as you is not supposed to be able to move like that. So yeah, easy money. Oh, here's the almost goal from Gianna Gregoria, a true freshman. I mean, just unlucky.
I wanted
really.
that for her.
I mean, that's a deep shot. Let's show that again. That's a deep take from the freshman midfielder, and it hits the inside top of the bar. We were standing right there. I mean, if there was a video angle right down the edge, maybe even can review the thing and say that it went over. I'm kidding. I don't think it did, but it just unlucky that it bounced down in this way instead of down and back. Like, that's a 50-50 chance, really. And she almost had her first career goal. And she got a lot of run in this game. And I actually asked Tom about Gianna after the game, because she didn't play a ton in their San Diego State game, but she got a lot of run. and Tom said, she's the real deal, right? We found her. She was the last player to sign in that class, I think. She came out of Florida. She's just really good in the air. She's a really good passer. Got limited minutes on Thursday, so we plan to get her a lot of run, like you said, in this one. And the better she played, the more we just left her out there. When you get on the field and you've earned the right to be on the field, you have to stay that. You have to earn the right to stay out there, and she did that. And yeah, so you said, like, we're just happy for G right now. What a good young holding mid to be coming up through the ranks, because we're about to graduate a couple of really good ones in the next couple of years. So yeah, that's a name to remember. How much she will or won't play this year is how much she earns, like you said, but she earned some playing time in that, and she just stayed out there. And she had a couple of big moments. Like she won a few headers in this that the team was going crazy about. We asked Sam and Taylor after the game about Gianna too, and they said no, they were really happy that she got a chance to show what she could do, because she does that in practice every day. So yeah, she had a lot of good moments. She was winning, like, didn't look like a freshman. Just another one of those freshmen that are not scared of anything. Like, it's a very talented freshman class. And she's been here since January, I think, maybe. Or no, she's one that showed up in the summer, but still, she's taken to the
Impressive.
Texas Tech way really quickly. So I named her Remember, but she that close to getting one to go. Like, it was almost in there from range. So yeah.
Yeah, it looks like she was able to get 45 minutes in, so pretty much a whole half she played. So
Yep.
Very impressive.
She might have played. She came on a little bit in the first half, so yeah, she played most of the second half though, for sure. Open my notes, but yeah, I mean, same thing as the first game. Scored quickly this game, 2 in the first 12 or 11 minutes after 2 in the first 7 minutes of the first game. Tom said after the game that they made a point of that they want to start fast. I'm paraphrasing now, but you can go watch the full thing. Basically, he's like, we talk about starting fast, but we make it known, like, hey, that doesn't always mean we're gonna score goals. But if you start fast and you're on the front foot, eventually the goals will come. He's like, but in these first 2 games, they've been scoring quickly, and that changes how the other team can play. And there's a crazy stat out there. Maybe I'll look it up before the next game, but Texas Tech is like 21-0 or something insane. Anyway, it's a lot. They haven't lost a game when they score at least 2 goals. They've tied once, which was at BYU over the last few years. So add up all those games. That's how good their defense usually is. So if you can get 2 goals to this defense, that's usually enough to win. And now they're scoring 4, and they're scoring 2 in the first 12 minutes. So it's just, I don't want to call it a different style. It's how they always play. I just feel like they have a lot of versatility to their attack. But again, 2 games. So I'm trying not to overblow it, but it's just the way in which they're scoring is fun. And there's so many different people in on the attack. Like Z's probably Z, Macy. I mean, everyone's been consistent in their own way, but it's like you don't know where it's going to come from, really. And I think that can be hard. I would think that's hard to guard and hard to game plan for. I mean, there's got to be a reason people are leaving Sam Courtright with that much space 2 games in a row. It's because, okay, well, if we leave her, then Peyton Parsons is wide open, or Z is wide open, or whoever it is that's coming in here. So they have to pick and choose their poison, and good luck. I think Thomas said something to the effect of this team will go as far as their team defense takes them. I don't necessarily, well, I would never disagree with Tom Stone, to be frank, but I would second that statement, I guess is what I would say. Is it feels like they're going to be able to figure things out offensively most games to at least get a couple of goals, and then it's as long as we can play good enough team defense. But yeah, any last thoughts on the first 2 games of the year before moving to very brief previews? We don't have any grand breakdowns of their teams. It's so early in the season, but go for it if you have any last thoughts.
Yeah, just like I said, at the first takeaway that I had about starting off hot, we got those first 2 goals in under 2.5 minutes in San Diego State, and then we got 3 goals in Youngstown State within 15 minutes. So just gonna be kind of looking out, as Tom said, we may not score that fast, but if you start playing fast, then a lot of opportunities are going to happen, and that's something I'm looking forward to, especially when we move into the Santa Clara team that's been historically known to be very good. I mean,
For sure.
have a great coach, 2020 national champions. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. They were ranked. They dropped out because, soccer rankings, and they lost to Stanford. But I
Yeah.
think that this is where our team needs to be moving into these next 2 games in California, another road trip.
But yeah, I think that's the best way to put it is you can't really complain about what you've seen. I
Right.
mean, about outside of maybe shutting out Youngstown, what else were you asking for? One other thought, Molly Krasinski had 3 assists in that game. So that's also second all-time for assists in a single game. But it's coming from a defender, which is different. Like Macy doing that is, I mean, she is a defender as well. But it's coming from someone that started the game as a center back. But she also has played midfield for us and was cheating up the field quite a bit in this game because they were playing so far back on defense. So that was kind of a under the radar note. I didn't even notice until I got home and looked at the box score. But she had 3 assists in that game. They were like the first of to the second assist or whatever on each play. But shout out her, steady as ever. And then a ton of people. She only had to play 45 minutes in that game, which means a ton of people got to come in and play on that back line as the game went. So yeah, good stuff. Gonna need that depth. You mentioned the hot starts. Sam Courtwright said, we always appreciate when we have a hot start to a game. We want to keep that rolling into Thursday's game. A lot of different people have gotten on the board, a lot of different minutes. I think when we've had a lot of combination play, it's successful for us. So just honing in on the things this game that we can work on and bring with us the rest of the season. That's what she said after Sunday's game. As we move into this week's game, like Tyler said, Santa Clara was ranked number 16 last week. Lost to number 2 Stanford, number 1 in some polls. Fell all the way out of the rankings, soccer rankings. What are you going to do? But they're still receiving votes. And if you're kind of like new to the world of soccer, Santa Clara is a soccer power, a name. We talked about them in the preview. I don't know how this came about. My life. I got stuck in the mud, literally. I still have mud. I was picking it out earlier while Tyler was talking. I have mud in my hair. It's been a day, so I didn't get to go to the media availability this morning, and it hasn't been posted. So I'm hoping someone asked about how this game came about, because I don't believe Texas Tech has ever played Santa Clara. But they won the national championship in 2020. Coach Jerry Smith has been there. This is his 39th season. He's taken that team to 12 different college cups in his time and won 2 national titles, including the 2021. He's one of just 3 Division I coaches in the history of college soccer to win at least 500 games. That's a lot of games.
Yeah.
So you're going into their place. They're 1-1 on the season. They handled Cal Bakersfield or some local team in their first game 3-0, I believe, as they should. And then they got handled against Stanford. I don't know what the final score was. Maybe 4-1. Maybe the same thing as ours. They did get a goal across though. But Stanford's very good. So you really don't read into that much, except for they have experience against one of the best teams in the country, and they're going to bring that into this week of practice to then get to welcome us to their field. And it's a team similar to us in a different way that has had a coach for so long that they know exactly who they are, right? They know the system they run, they know what they're doing, and they have like that long line of communication and how they play. We're probably going to know how they play as well because of that, just like they're going to know how we play because we've had the same system, the same coach forever. So in a way, even though it's very early in the season, just because of the programs that are going at it right here with the long tenured coaches, you feel like it's a little bit of a postseason type matchup because both teams know who they are so much. There's no they're learning chemistry and different players fitting in. I think they had 8 freshmen that have gotten time this year. Similar to us, we've had quite a few underclassmen getting time as well, mixed in with our veterans. So there's that kind of stuff being kinks worked out for sure for both teams. But system-wise, they know each other. They know who they are. There's none of that going on. So I think it's a chance to be a really good game. I mean, I hope it's a horrible game and we 4-0 blank them again. Hope we come out going crazy and doing what we do. But either way, if we can find a way to the win, I do think it's a really good resume win for you by the end of the year. Very good chance they're ranked by the end of the year. They play like 4 power conference opponents in a row, and we're like game 2 of that stretch for them. And then they get into the West Coast Conference, which they have a chance to win and then get into the postseason. So I'm excited for it. I'm going on a mini vacay starting Thursday, so I'm hoping I'm able to watch. I mean, I'll watch it. I just don't know if it'll be live. But it's so late, Tyler. I think I'll be able to watch it. So 9:30 p.m. on ESPN+. I'm pretty sure I'll be wherever I'm supposed to be that day by then and can watch it. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. I love when we get to play like good soccer programs that know who they are and can kind of go at it instead of whatever they got going on.
Yeah, definitely looking at this game, as you said, kind of as something that you could see maybe like a first round matchup in the tournament, like type opponent, just getting the team prepared. In a lot of ways, we will have our redemption arc against Utah State at home later in the year, but a lot of ways this is kind
Another
of like
big non-con.
mirroring that game last year, but this time I definitely am confident we'll come out on top
Okay,
against a good
calling
soccer
for the
program.
dub. Let's go.
Yes,
As if we'd
of
ever do
course.
anything else on this show.
Yes.
We're here to give you the information,
Yes.
but we're always going to be going for Texas.
Positive.
No. Yeah, I mean, we are the ranked team in this matchup, so I don't think it's outlandish to say. I don't know how accurate Massey ratings are, but let's see. They had us picked to lose this game before the season, but let's see if that's changed. Oh, it's moved. Before they had us picked to lose 2-1. Now we're up to a 42% chance to get the win, but they have moved it to a 1-1 tie. For reference, they had us only beating Youngstown State 2-1 and San Diego State 1-0. So we've blown those predictions out of the water. So take them with a grain of salt. There's not a lot of info for these little computers to go off of this early in the year, but that's what they got. Yeah, I think it would just be a great win, a good resume builder. And then any other thoughts on Santa Clara before we move forward? I was hoping we'd have quotes and stuff for the team, but I'm sorry. My real life job got in the way. And mud. Who knew it rains enough to create mud? I have a four-wheel truck and 4x4 and still stuck. I told Tally the story beforehand. It's been a day. So I apologize. But I'm assuming that'll be posted on YouTube at some point. And so just go watch it because I trust that somebody asked them about Santa Clara and the relationship and all that and how this happened, came apart. I'm just intrigued to know if Coach Stone knows Jerry Smith at all, how we set this game up. But it should be a good one. Good soccer program. And we'll go from there. San Francisco, don't know a lot about them other than we're playing them on Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. West Coast Time on ESPN Plus. Both these games on ESPN Plus. None of that Mountain West mess that we dealt with last week. Thank you, Jesus.
Goodness.
They've only played one game so far this year, also to number 2 Stanford, and they got walloped 7-0. But again, it's Stanford, so good at soccer. They play Cal on Thursday while we're playing Santa Clara, so we'll see how that goes for them. A game that you should win, a game that you need to handle. First chance, though, to kind of have that quick recovery period on the road and play a morning game on a Sunday. Your previous Sunday game was a late night Sunday game, so you're going to have to get up early. This team, I mean, they practice at like 7 a.m. every day, so that doesn't bother them. They're early morning people anyway, but I'm just saying we're just trying to come up with things here. The check boxes along the way to building a championship team. They've gotten the weather game out of the way. Now you got your early morning West Coast game that you can get out of the way as well. So that, and then one thing I didn't mention, I mentioned at the front of the show, but Chloe Yopich, who was a transfer this year from Virginia, also played at Baylor, but Virginia in the last few years, 6th-year player. She is from Palo Alto, I believe, where Stanford is, but that's only about 20-30 minutes from Santa Clara, and about 45 minutes from San Francisco, which is obviously in San Francisco, but it's literally the University of San Francisco that they're playing. Shocking that it's in San Francisco, California. So she'll probably have a lot of friends and family at the game, just like Faith Wynn had a lot at their San Diego game when they were there. So that should be fun for her. Yeah, that's the thoughts I have. Anything else, Tyler?
No, let's just go and piss off the state of California again.
Yeah.
Let's just knock them one by one.
Let's win the California State Championship. I'll print the t-shirts.
Yes.
Two more games to go. You already got 1-0. Let's own the state of California for now. And then we'll take care of that Stanford game when we meet them at the College Cup in Kansas City.
Yes.
Bookmark this. This will hit really hard in the championship video down the line. Yeah, so that's that. And then we'll close the show real quick with recruiting update. Not a lot of info out there on soccer recruiting, I'm not going to lie. But they did get 4 recruits. I'll probably put an article out, try to dig up some more info on them on Riveter Sports later in the week. But 4 different commits have come in this last week. Camilla, Adami. I apologize. I'm gonna know your name soon enough. She's a midfielder. Was on the U20, U17, U15, U everything team for Puerto Rico. Also has been in the United States Youth National Team ID camps a few times as well. Dual citizen. She's a good player, obviously. She committed just last night, I believe. Emerson Andreas, midfielder as well. All-State ECNL player. Addison Miller, an outside back from Carrollton, Texas. And Claire Benoist? I don't know if it's a silence. Benoit? So we're going to learn. We're going to learn, Claire. Goalkeeper. She's coming to the right place. Goalkeeper U.
Yes.
It says St. Louis on one of her profiles, but I remember her posting about being at the San Diego State game. I'm pretty sure on her Instagram the other day after she committed. So she was in California, I swear, but I could be making that up. But anyway, go find them on social, tell them congrats. I think we've shared most of the posts on Twitter, but on Instagram, we usually share them on our stories, which will be gone by now, but go find them. Welcome to the team, y'all. I'll try to dig up more info about them. The team can't, answer questions about them until they sign, so all I can do is find stuff on the internet about them. That's all I got for you guys. I'll see what I can find, though. Tyler, you got something on them?
All that I got is very good players. So glad that they have come to Texas Tech. This is the right school to come to. And after seeing, every single freshman class that we've seen, but especially this year's freshman class, I just have full trust in what this staff's doing.
Exactly.
I'm not asking questions.
I don't need to know if they're good. If this coaching staff wanted them on the team, they're good at soccer. That's all you guys really need to know.
100%.
But I'll go try to find some stats for you and put it down in an article or something. But yeah, that's what we got. Another week down. Texas Tech soccer, number 18 in the country, in both the United Coaches Association, whatever it is, poll. That's the one that the NCAA goes by, and Top Drawer, which I personally respect a lot more. Shots fired. Is also 18. So we're matching with that, and moving up, just kind of keep creeping up there. We'll see y'all next week to talk about Santa Clara and San Francisco, and they will have a home game next week, right? That y'all can go to as well.
Our next home game isn't until the 28th, so
that's just some point.
That next week, yeah.
Next time I talk to y'all. My mouse is broken, so I can't scroll. But yeah, they got a home game coming up eventually once they get back. I think, next Thursday. I'm pretty sure they're home against SMU.
Hold on, we're pulling it up.
Pull it up, Tyler. Only the 5 people that have made it to the end of this video hanging.
Okay. Yes, next week we are playing SMU on
there
Thursday. Yes, next
Power conference opponent. They hung with Wake Forest pretty good in their opening game. They gave them a decent fight. So hopefully it'll be a good game for us. So you can get your first Power 7, as they call it in soccer, win over Santa Clara on Thursday. Then you can get another one against a Power 4 opponent the following Thursday. Can't sleep on San Francisco, though. Lord knows Texas found that out last week. If you know, you know. Yes. All right, guys. That's all I got. Until next time. Wreck 'em.